Good evening, everybody. Welcome back for the finale of Grim, our dark, mouse-sized tale about death, family. As a warning for this last episode, please be aware that themes of death and family, chance of severe bodily injury will be suffused throughout this. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, please feel free to click away from. Also, as a note, version 0.6 of Sagas is now in early access, but for continuing this story, we will be using our original rule set version 0.52. So, as a quick reminder about who we are, hi, I'm Dennis. I'm running this show, I designed this game, and I hope you all probably already know. So we'll skip, I think that's enough for me now. Quick player introductions started though. Let's start with Hanzo.
I'm Hanzo. I am playing Brother Simeon in this story. That's about it. Short and sweet. Also, it is 1:30 in the morning for me, so if I yawn, bear with me.
Thank you for waking up so early to be here with us, or staying up so late.
Staying up so late.
What about you, Stouffer?
I'm Stouffer. I am playing Rocky the Gadgeteer Chinchilla.
And Abby.
Hey everyone, I'm Abby Marie Carter, and I'm playing Nina the Mouse, sister to Brother Simeon, and I don't know, the mouse girl with the whip, I guess.
And it is time now. You all know us. We get started. What began as strange happenings at the wake of the great inventor, Dr. Alphonse Wrinkle, has ballooned into an epic and sinister plot circling around vicious Dr. William Van. After forging Dr. Wrinkle's will and stealing his body, Dr. Vanderschmidt's endgame history. But our mouse heroes, Nina and Simeon, children of late Dr. Wrinkle, their chinchilla friend, Rocky, have been thoroughly investigated. After a clash with Dr. Vanderschmidt in the office, loss of their friend Gav, the friends visited the law office of Grasshopper G. Grasshopper, arbiter Dr. Wrinkle. After much convincing, the lawyer finally agreed that not all was lost. Armed with new knowledge from him that Dr. Vanderschmidt is an expert in animatronics, the party investigates Dr. Wrinkle's old office once again. Unbeknownst to them, Dr. Vanderschmidt waits for his machine to finish the project he started, his old. As your investigation in the office concludes and confirms you already know, you recall the plan. Mina has some connections with the nearby beehive. Time to go call in some favors and get Dr. Vanderschmidt's Wasp gang away so you can stop his project. It is now early evening. The bookshop outside has closed for the night. The rain beyond its windows has finally subsided. You can hear the skittering of many other denizens within these walls. Down below, you can see the foot traffic. Mice, other rodents, some insects crawling around now that bookshop proper is safe. All three of you are still in the office. You know what you have to do next.
Well, if there's nothing left for us here, should we go see if I can make anything of my connections with the bees?
That seems smart.
Yeah, can you lead the way?
Absolutely. And I will head out to where I guess out of the office and then towards whatever direction the beehive is in.
We will skip over the travel this time around. The beehive is one of bumblebees. The hive itself is underground, holes in the small field back behind the bee. You make your way there. The cool post-storm evening air feels nice. And as you approach where you think the beehive is, one of them lands in front. Bumblebees are big, but not nearly as big as the three. Lands on a bent grass stalk. Scowl. What's your business in this area?
We've come to seek help.
Help.
I've worked with you all before, members of your hive, and they owe me some favors. I'd like to call them in.
Ah. We've heard of you. Must be me.
That's me.
Well, I can show you to the work areas. Those you're looking. Follow me.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
And this bumblebee leads you on quite a journey. These blades of grass. You're starting to have to jog or run to keep up. But you get to a flower patch of daisies towering all above you. Once you get there, you can see a small swarm of other bumblebees, maybe a dozen, around the tops of these flowers. And your guide says, "Wait here." Flies up. And it's not very long before half dozen, whole half of this crew comes flying back down in formation down towards where you are resting in the grass, still wet from the storm. They land in front, look up at you and say, "Ah, it's Mina, guys. Long time no see."
Yes, it's been a while. I apologize. I've been busy.
Yes, so have we, so have we. So, to what do we owe the interruption?
I need help. I'll kind of look over at Simeon and Rocky while I try to think of how best to explain something to these bees, and then I'll just kind of continue on with, my father has died, and there is an issue, many issues, with a former partner of his that has most likely stolen my brother and I's inheritance. And he is protected by a gang of wasps.
Wasps, you say? Well, first, our condolences, father. But we are quite prepared to take on said wasps. actually
Really?
been looking for their hive recently. Or we've been told to, and we haven't found any leads.
Well, I can lead you straight to the wasp.
That's would be fantastic. Wow. I haven't had news this important for a very long time. Boys, let's go tell the queen. Where would you like us to meet you?
I'll look over at Simeon and Rocky.
Was it a bookstore? What kind of store were we in?
The bookshop.
It was actually
bookshop,
the
yeah.
tailor's next door to the book.
Right, but
Right.
Rocky would have said next to the bookstore.
It was just below the roof as well, like in some attic.
Ah. So
So-
that's where they've been hiding. Oh, that makes sense. Having a nest that close to our home is undesirable.
I can imagine so. So you'll help us.
Yes, of course. Even with this information alone, we would have been very, very excited to finally destroy our rivals.
Wonderful.
Well, we'll make preparations immediately.
Sounds perfect.
It's been good to see you again, Mina.
I will try to not let it be so long before I see you again.
And all the bees fly up to the daisies, and there's some conversation up there that you can't really hear, and then the entire group flies off back towards the hive.
I'll turn to Simeon and Rocky and say, well, that's that, I suppose. They're going to help us take care of the problem of the wasps.
Yeah, we just need to do our part.
I'm sure they'll be a great assistance. It went much smoother than I thought it might.
I don't know that I'd call it friends exactly, but they owe me, and this is something they have a vested interest in.
And what is it exactly you did for them, or is that a story for another time? Maybe less close to their company.
I think that's a story for another time. She's like clearly uncomfortable being asked whatever she did for them by you, Simeon. Like it's specifically you're asking her, and she like stiffens and is like, I don't want to talk about this. And she'll just, oh, that's a story for another time. So should we try and make preparations ourselves for taking on Vanderschmidt?
Yeah, it would be good for us all to, have a bit of a breather before it and collect anything we need to.
Did we establish a time that we were meeting the bees at the tailors?
They'll be there when it's time.
You know what? Yeah.
It's that
Makes
classic like movie trope where the characters are like, "Oh, how about cinema tomorrow for our date?" Yeah, sure, and they never discuss a time, but just all both happen to turn up to the cinema at the same time.
Friday? AM or PM?
Wait
So
on Friday.
you make your way closer back to houses out of this field. You recall that this tailor shop was difficult to get into last time. You ended up going up many of the walls and coming out inside the attic, taking a detour once you saw how many wasps there were in there, and going across the roof and almost dying trying to get into. You've done this before. Are you going to let your past experiences inform your new approach?
Maybe we should scout a better way to get in.
I would imagine that he would take precautions on the window now, specifically too.
So we should
Do-
probably
do-
find another way in.
We did find a way in before, but it led straight to the wasps. Which is the main reason we took the other route round through the window. But if we don't need to worry about the wasps this time, we could take that more direct route.
We will have to take the bees straight to the wasp. At least in a show of good faith. And then they'll take care of the wasps, hopefully. And maybe we'll be able to go unnoticed to the front door of his office. Or, we could go up and try and see if there's another way.
We should scout out to see if there are multiple good entrances for the bees to form.
Good idea.
All right, I'm gonna ask all of you to check to find new one.
Love.
I don't have anything that'll help, so D10 it is. Ooh. 2.
Nice.
I got a 4.
Mina, you're used to this kind of work. Been showing off your skills at finding these throughout this whole story, and continue to do so. Discover a new hole in the base of the wall. It is like right in the back of the shop, and see it's sort of crack in the wall that goes upwards, but at the base of it there's a space definitely wide enough for you inside the actual.
Okay.
You all go inside this new entrance, making sure watched guards out here, which there's none. Inside, it's much the same. See slowly rotting wood down here on this floor. Cobwebs all over the walls, but plenty of hand and footholds to climb up, all. For climbing check. Difficulty is pretty easy. Obviously, right.
2 again.
Another 2.
I'm betting to go great.
I got a 6.
Oh.
6 was the difficulty. Like I said, very easy. There are many times, Simeon, like, I don't know if I can make this jump. I've never jumped that far before. Long way down. But after gritting your teeth, steeling yourself. Running start, your single top.
I'm just glad we haven't rolled a 5 yet.
It'll happen, just wait.
As you're climbing up, you notice another hole side of this wall that leads to the outside, and it looks like the wall around it is actually quite thin. And peeking out of it, you can see a small swarm of bumblebees flying upwards towards this building. A couple of them pass close enough to this hole that...
Yeah, I will, get their attention in whatever way.
It's a bee you don't recognize. Shout out outside the wall.
Yes. See. This is not great entry point for us. But we have tools that... Yes, this will do nicely. Stand back.
And you can see a couple of other bees that are carrying a rock held by a string, a rock like fist size. There's just bees covering this string as they lift it slowly towards this place. And they, you don't see exactly what they do, but they attach it to the roof somehow. And then a couple of them make sure that it's at the right height, push the rock away. Silence. This rock comes in, works like a wrecking ball as it just makes this hole huge, like a baseball through a window. Rotten wood shatters across the floor, but the bees themselves are able to swarm into its wall, and that's exactly what.
Which direction to the wasps?
We still need to go up.
A little bit, yeah. You're on the top, almost at the top, but not quite there.
A little farther up. They're in the attic. Like what Rocky said.
Thank you. Come, bees, to war.
I've started a war.
Yes, a war that has been waiting to happen for quite a long time. Proximity of these hives. You come in, you watch the bees fly away. You sort of wait for them to go first. And then the last couple of stragglers fly in and make their way down the hallway. They're all moving much faster than most of you.
Yeah.
You just follow the path of bees further into. You come to the attic space. Giant open area, steeple of the building, where you decided that last time you were here, you decided that it's too dangerous to cross. But now, as you approach this area, you hear an almost deafening buzz, all different pitches, and voices shouting. As you look up into this area through your exit hole into rafters, you can see wasps and bees striking at each other with ferocity. All those, many of those swarms of bees have coalesced into balls around these wasps to superheat the inside, which, for fun, is actually how bees kill wasps.
Yep.
And you can see a dozen of those, but the wasps are still flying around and holding their own, being significantly bigger than these bees, actually. It is getting more and more difficult, and the bees' numbers are falling, but they started with many, many more wasps. It's time, and you can look up, and you can see there's a little tiny staircase that leads to the door to Dr. Vanderschmidt's office, and you can see the doctor himself, his rat-like form leaning over the railing. See him, his eyes red with anger, gritting his teeth, clutching the edge of the banister before spinning around and slamming the door behind him.
All right. Are the sounds loud enough that it would be bothersome to me? Like the
Yes.
buzzing and everything?
Yeah,
Dang
I think
it.
so.
Okay, that's fine. How long? For 2 turns. Okay, that's fine.
So as long as the buzzing continues, it'll be difficult stuff.
Yeah. It's
Like,
fine.
make a dart for it across this attic, across these rafters, towards Dr. Vanderschmidt. We'll make
Which
this
I
a
think
sort
is the
of
plan.
skill challenge. I'm going to ask each one of you what you are going to do. You can use whatever skills you want that you have at your disposal to help get all 3 of you across this. The floor is not a flat floor. It's like it's many beams laid across each other as supports for this building. What are you doing to run across these beams and avoid the wasps and the battle raging above?
Well, for me, this is where Brother Simeon's small size and stature comes in handy. Because I am a small target, I'm harder to notice. I can go across sort of, narrower bits of the floor, stuff like that. A lot of ways it can come in handy in this situation. And that's about it. That's about the only thing I have that I can justify being useful in any way, shape, or form right now.
All right, go ahead and make a check to remain unseen as you dart across this room. You're going to need to make 2 checks each in order to get across this.
My first was a 4.
A 4 is a success. You manage to time it perfectly, making sure that wasps are watching before you start your dart across. You get halfway across with no issue. Mina and Rocky, you see Simeon go for it, and you time too.
I'm going to try and move silently because I was good at that, but also the noise is bothering me. But
It
I'm
is.
going to try and use my talent for moving silently to go unnoticed.
The
We'll
ringing
see.
of the buzzing is turning to ringing in your ears, and it's starting to give a splitting headache. But this is the moment. You cannot just stand here. And with a
Since
D12, you got a 3.
Never mind.
Oh, I have a D10. It goes.
Oh,
from
it's a D10. Okay,
With the sense of ears, it's a D10.
gotcha. Perfect. Yes,
Usually I'd have a
sensitive
D8.
ears.
So.
You managed to get across, already catching up to your brother's tail. Rocky, taking up the rear.
Rocky's just gonna hunch in his coat and put one of his claws on his hat, one finger kind of around the ear, and then just hope for the best and run.
All right, make
Can I
a check.
I want to give Rocky an effort, please.
How are you going to help Rocky get across?
I am going to kind of gesture
cost,
for him to try and.
No, in this version, it's 1 effort. Yeah.
One effort.
I'm going to try and essentially get him to follow my lead and kind of copy my movements as I'm finding the places on the beam that aren't going to creak, that sort of stuff, maybe stopping and starting, and just kind of, before I go, motion for him to stay close to me and mimic exactly what I'm doing.
Awesome. All right, you spend that effort. Rocky, you get 2 dice on.
Definitely gonna need it. 7 and 9.
Ooh.
Oh.
Mina, as you are running across, finding the safest routes, you take a turn that you're pretty sure this is gonna be fine, and you dart across this beam, but you can hear behind you a snap as Rocky's bulk as a chinchilla breaks through this, frankly, balsa wood connection between 2 beams. And Rocky, you catch on by like your claws to the edge of this. And we're gonna move back to Simeon as Rocky hangs there. Simeon, you have not noticed this.
Okay.
No.
Too caught up in the moment.
Is there anything else you want to do to help yourself dart across this space?
Not really. If I hadn't noticed what's going on, then yeah, just keep going.
Mina, would you shout? Mina or Rocky, would you shout out at this? Keeping in mind you're trying to be stealthy.
Yeah.
I would not.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Rocky would try to be quiet.
All right. Simeon, you don't notice, but it doesn't appear as though any wasps have eaten.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll keep going. Oblivious.
All right. Go ahead and make another check to get across to the other side.
Dice
Base of
rolls.
these stairs.
A 3.
You make it, and you turn around, and you can see that your sister and friend have fallen behind. So you're all the way to the other side. Mina.
I'm gonna try and help Rocky back onto the beam.
Are you going to make a check to pull Rocky onto the beam with you?
Yeah, and I think before I make the check, I'll say that I'm gonna try and use my whip to like help leverage him up, sort of thing. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try.
All right.
It's a cat.
Hansa, you just had to say something,
Yes,
didn't
I
you? With a 10,
But hey, I get the effort back.
My
you
bad.
do get the effort back. But with a 10, you take out your whip and you're trying to find a way to use it to help you do this. And it's just there's just no way to do it. And as you have been looking around, trying to figure out how to help Rocky back onto the beam, you're looking around and you see one of the wasps notice you and dive bombs. Rocky, your turn. You notice the wasp too.
I would like to shoot it with... Oh, no, I can't. I'm hanging. Never mind. I guess I'll just try to scramble up.
I mean, it's a pretty cool visual to
You
be
can-
hanging
you
by
can
one
still shoot
claw
it
and
if
like
you want.
shooting with the other.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing against that.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it took 2 hands to wield. Yeah.
No, you just got a pistol, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll try to shoot it.
All right. Describe what it looks like for us again, because I love the first time you use it.
Well, that kind of is the problem. With one hand, it's like up my sleeve, and it has like a gear mechanism. So, with one hand, the way I described it, I actually can't use it. So,
No, you use your mouth.
sure. All right. Yeah. So, hurrying, he'll unbutton his sleeve and then just start like doing like a weird hand twisty head bobby twist to get the gear spinning, and then reaches into a pocket like in his coat and pulls out a little pebble in his mouth, and then towards the entrance of the now like sparking tube, he'll spit the rock, the pebble into it, and aim at the wasp.
All right, go ahead and back roll. There it is. A 5 was coming. Surprised it came from you. With
Had
a
he cursed me last
5,
week?
the wasp did not see that coming, and you strike it right in the wing, and it immediately starts like spinning out of control, falling down way past you. You two still need one successful check between the two of you to get to the other side and get Rocky back onto the rafters.
It was Mina rolling all 5s in episode 1. It was me rolling all 5s in episode 2. Now it's Rocky's turn.
Yeah.
Yep, looks like it.
Okay. I guess.
Would Climber help me get back up?
Yes, but you still need another successful check between the two of you to get to the other side.
I not help Rocky up and just try and. Well, I still have a D10 for everything, don't I? Because the noise is still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for 2 turns after hearing a loud noise. I'm in the midst of the loud noise.
Yep. It's deafening.
Okay. Can I take a second to ask Rocky, do you want me to try and help you again, or should I just go and you got it?
Just go.
All right,
At this
I
point,
will.
We're just trying to get through it.
I'm gonna try and using my move silently again. Not that it matters
Right.
right now because it's still a D10. That's better. 4.
With a 4, you do get across, and that is the last success you needed to succeed in this challenge. So, Rocky, you managed to get to the other side as well.
Thank
Relative
goodness.
ease.
Was it keeping an eye out on pin board?
Doing the same as you climb up these stairs, Rocky, you sort of have a hand on the wall to grab on in case footholds give way. But that is not the case. Each stair after creaky stair you climb up to the top of Vanderschmidt's office, knowing what lies beyond and wondering at what you have to do. Ooh.
I mean, I think Rocky would just be in hurry mode. So if neither of you, or specifically Simeon, hasn't done it yet, I think Rocky will just go for it.
I'm a very timid man. I would wait for you two to get there, and then if you're in a rush, you'd probably just beat me to it unnaturally.
Rocky will go through one clawed hand on his gear in his top hat. Or at least try to open the door with one hand on his ear.
One hand on your ear. You grab
Ear
the door
with a G.
handle. Turn. Slowly open. That's where. It
Damn
won't be
it.
too long. We're just going to be gone about 10 minutes. So, you're back here. 5 players and audio. Stretch break if you need it. Get some water in you. Hydrate. See you back. Welcome back, viewers, to our finale. We're in climax, final chapters of Grimm. Rocky, as you open the door, Dr. Vanderschmidt's office, the sight you see is not really expected. You see the machine inside, now on, whirring, dials moving, bits of steam puffing out. You see the window just across the way, now heavily. And you can see on the other side of the room a small table and 4 mouse-sized set around it. Dr. Vanderschmidt pours tea. All tea set.
Please come in. Apologize for the severity and violence of our last meeting. Shut the door behind
Uh,
you. Oh, you must be taken aback. Hope that it's night. The beginning of an ample suffering.
I'll follow. Rocky, are you inside yet?
yeah, I imagine he would have like charged in and like a couple of steps in, like 2 steps in, would just been like brought up short and just like not expecting a tea party. But yeah, so he's just kind of frozen.
I'll follow Rocky inside. And if Simeon also follows, I will probably close the door just to get a reprieve from the sound. But I will not go to sit down.
As the buzzing... Go ahead.
As Simeon enters with Mina, I'll look at Vanderschmidt and just say, and does your tea have the power to bring our friend Gav back to life?
No. That is experiment yet to.
What experiment have you begun?
At this point, Mina closes the door. Infernal buzzing finally subsides. The battle continues to rage just outside of this thin.
Must have double glazing.
Don't expect you to trust me. Obviously. I was hoping you would just listen.
Takes a itty bitty framed photo. It's, for relative to you, it's quite large. But this small frame is propped up by like a bent wire. Places it side of the table. None of you have sat down. Of you. But you can clearly see in the photo a much younger Dr. Vanderschmidt smiling at the camera, and next to him, much shorter, his arm is around a much younger Dr. And Simeon, you recognize his father.
Rocky just like takes his eyes off of Dr. Vanderschmidt and looks at Mina and Simeon, unsure of what to do.
So you were friends with our father?
It was another time. Yes, relied on each other. Moments of need.
Is that why you stole his body and our inheritance?
The thing was stolen. Came back into contact with Alphonse recently. See, scared, old, dying. Wasn't ready to pass on. Give to. Told him I would do what I could.
We have it on pretty good authority that his will was most likely forged.
I will admit, yes. I had to use that machine. Believable. Father was in no condition to write.
The machine on the wall lets out another tss.
I'll look at Simeon and say, hadn't you seen Father 2 weeks before he died or something? A few weeks before he died, and he was fine? Not dying?
Simeon will just nod silently.
I'll look back at Vanderschmidt. The facts don't really seem to add up.
Three of you eating was not a coincidence. Find that almost nothing. Rocky. So look at the photo.
Like, do I have to get closer to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then very much still hat on head, hand on hat, ready to just spin the gear at a moment's notice. He'll creep closer.
Under the guise of bending down and lifting your hat to see it. Bended. It's Go ahead and make a check.
I would like it noted that I have my whip out. And have had it out
and
this
like
entire
unfurled
time.
and everything.
Yes. Like I'm not holding it like up, but I'm holding it unfurled at my side.
Sort of draped
It
on the
is
ground
clearly
behind you.
out.
Very ready.
Simeon is just doing like the Arthur fist. You know, just like silently seething in rage, but not doing, not saying anything, just silent anger. Building and building.
What'd you get, Rocky?
Got a 1. Let me see into the past.
That's exactly what you do. Not only do you see into the past, you notice that the Dr. Vanderschmidt's photo has larger ears. Almost no. You look up at the real current Dr. Van. See that his ears are not prickly, like they've shaped.
What do you want me to see? Kind of take a step back a little bit, but not as far as he had been.
Look back to him, back to the photo again. Here closer. You can see he actually does have a short, bushy.
He'll grab his own tail and just like clutch it around himself. What's
You can see.
the point of all of this? Why is this had to be secret? Why didn't you just come forward?
The nature of my work is commonly misunderstood.
Marky's just kind of like shaking his head.
I make people, not real people. I make beings of metal and gears, steam. It's unnerving to some.
And you steal dead bodies.
Don't steal.
Like, you killed our friend, and that you have to answer for the very least.
My thoughts exactly. Even if what you say is true, and there's reason to believe it is. I mean, Mina, you have to admit, giving his body to a crazy experiment definitely sounds like something Dad might have done. But all I'm hearing are reasons we should forgive you for what happened to our father and his will, and nothing about why we should forgive you for what happened to Gav.
You threw him out a window. You must have. You're weirdly quite intelligent.
Simeon out a window too.
Yes, you threw my brother out a window too.
Some strange old photo supposed to make all that better. Just like starting to breathe really heavy and kind of panic a little bit.
Dr. Van Schmidt grabs his own tail and it holds it bald to his chest, and it's like fiddling with the
Rocky starts humming like a childhood like lullaby type thing, not even thinking about it. Now he starts to back away.
See, you remember.
No, I don't remember anything. This is it. No. Rocky will drop his tail and whip back his sleeve and start cranking his gun. But he doesn't pull out a pebble yet. He just like points it at Vander Smith and just screams out, "I don't remember anything!"
Even your creations, just like the ones I've made.
It's just technology. That's just how it works. I made things like Dr. Wrinkle too. Why he took me under his wing.
And maybe he can do it again. If you just listen, understand.
Well, then talk more. None of this is understandable.
Listen to
you.
what? You are not making any sense, and all you're doing is frightening our friend.
I'll show you. Then you'll know.
In frustration, he throws his tail down and walks over to the machine.
I pull my whip up, like, ready to use, essentially. Just...
And he spins a wheel quickly, pulls a lever, and there's another burst of steam. He pulls one more lever, another, and then he takes one big wheel on the large container next to this contraption. Twists and opens the door, throws them wide. Mist goes out into the room, and everything drops several degrees. Inside, you can see the body of your father, mutilated being, metal parts sticking out of what used to be arms, a face that is half gone and placed with grass.
See? You wanted to come back after he left. He's almost ready.
That's impossible. That can't work. This is a trick? Some trick?
Even if the body did come back, his soul is gone. Surely.
His soul is in his work. He'll be able to continue that.
Mina, for the first time, really, is starting to, like, freak out.
Why does nobody understand?
Why would you do this to someone?
Because it's what he wanted.
Didn't want this. Not like this.
Well, then maybe he can tell you on his own.
And he's going to spin and pull one more lever inside. You can hear smaller gears start to clink together. And the light, bright red light, I should be, starts shining.
Rocky knows that now is the time to act, but it's Victorian.
Okay. Doctor, can you hear me?
It doesn't respond.
Are you listening? Come on, answer me! I said, answer me!
And as Dr. Vanderschmidt goes to grab the creature before you, he touches its shoulder, and in a blur of motion, you can see its arm just go straight outwards to the side, and sever the doctor's hand.
Yikes.
Ah! Oh! The mutated and mutilated chinchilla falls to his knees. And the thing turns and looks at the three of you. And its horrible, hollow voice echoes out. Threat detected. And it starts running straight at you. I
Oh
need
no!
everyone to roll reaction.
That's just a D10, right? Or like everything else? Right.
Not for me. I am a coward. So roll a d12.
Yes, that's right.
I got a 6.
I rolled a 10.
Oh no!
Oh no!
It's the situation. It's the fear and shock. I rolled a 4.
Ooh. The coward goes first.
Oh gosh.
The coward has been fueled with religious fury, you know. Although I'm not much
you
of a
are in
fighter.
an adjacent zone. This room is only 2 zones wide.
Oh no.
I'm not very good at the combat. You know, it's kind of not my thing. But I have had to do autopsies before, and this thing's sort of dead, so sure the same skills will apply.
Really?
So Simeon will pull out his little sort of dagger knife that he has, you know, for situations like that and for personal defense when he's in the rougher areas.
Right? You pull out the little knife. You're going to try to make an attack against this thing. You're going to have to move towards it to do.
Yes. But while doing so, I will monologue at. Is monologuing free? Can I just monologue?
Talking is a
freely?
free action.
Good.
This is a TV show.
Good. Yeah. Then Simeon would be monologuing Van der Schmidt, saying, you know, I told you, no matter what happens to the body, the soul is gone. This is what happens when you try to play God. And then I'll try to attack.
Right. Your attack roll.
Okay. Which dice do I use if I have a melee weapon? Is it still just D10 unless it states otherwise?
Yep.
Or is it D8 if you're using a weapon?
D10 if you use.
Cool. Oh yeah, and D12 for improvised. Like, Cool. A 6.
6. Not enough.
Yeah,
Your
I did say it's not my forte.
flies towards what used to be your father and just collides with this brass mechanical arm, like one of the main structures on it. Just takes a small ding, do no damage whatsoever, but sparks fly and it spins towards you. Rocky, good to go.
Ooh, I'm going to run forward. Is he still kind of like trapped by the box thing, or is he free?
He's fully out.
Okay. I think I will still run forward in front of Simeon and spin my hat to use force field. Once per rest, you can use your combat action, create a small bubble around you. Nothing can pass through the bubble. Effect lasts 1 round and cannot be moved. So just try to like push him back into the box. Not actually push, but like
block his move.
Thematically block him from really moving forward.
Okay. What does this force field look like?
So similar to his pistol on his arm. His hat actually has like conductive like upper in it, and the top fits up and like just like on a hinge. There's just flaps the back, and you can see just like what starts out as just like static electricity start to form around, and you can see it like kind of arc down like to where Rocky's gloves are, and then like some other points like on his feet, and those are like when you touch one of those electrical ball boy thing, novelty thing, and like there's like certain points. Yeah. It is based off of Tesla coil for sure. Yeah, but the novelty thing, it has like those points, and so those points kind of give like the sphere around him some structure, and it's like lightly blue tinged electrical field that'll kind of make the air smell a little weird.
Yes, as the ozone permeates the room, you can see these bolts of what looks like bright, almost stationary lightning just wiggling through the air and slowly like going switching back and forth between each other as you activate one of your proudest contraptions. Nothing can get through this cage. That is your action. This thing's going to go. It cannot really move towards Mina, and it can't attack you. So it's going to slash out Simeon. Simeon, I need.
Okay. That is a 1.
Perfect. After this single blow, you can see an arm getting ready to go towards Rocky, but it just like gets, as it a shock goes straight towards the arm that it was trying to use to attack Rocky. It instead like does something weird inside it, and it swings outward and just misses you above your head. That's its turn. Mina, you're up.
Is the entire like front of this creature blocked by Simeon and Rocky, or is there room for me to like come up?
There is room for you to enter this place, I think, because right now it has Vanderschmidt, who's big, Rocky, who I think is also big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually no. This, if that's the case, then this is just barely under capacity. So if you enter, you will not be able to come back. Neither will anybody else. For Rocky and
Quick question.
Mhm.
Does the regain an effort on a failed roll apply to combat rolls as well?
absolutely.
Cool. Nice. Love that.
Okay, then I am just kind of going to move kind of along the back of Rocky and Simeon, not getting into that zone, but kind of walking along the back just to kind of get a better vantage point at this thing, but also to be able to see Vanderschmidt and just, how do you turn it off at him?
And he is still like almost like crying, clutching his stump of a hand, just like rocking back and forth. Says, I don't, it's, you have to, you can't get it out.
Well, that is not helpful. I don't know what I could do. Are there any other weapons around?
You have your whip, which I believe.
Yes.
Is this a normal whip or is this specifically a long whip?
It's a long whip, but it says that it has a range of close.
Yes.
Or am I still able to use it?
Uh-huh. Close means can attack things in adjacent zones.
Cool. Then I am going to try and... What I'm going to attempt to do is, like, reach out with my whip and, like, grab a limb or something and try and pull it, like, farther away from everyone to the side or something.
Do you want to pull it into your zone? The only way you'd be able to get it far enough away from everyone is to pull it closer to you.
You know what? Sure.
All right, go ahead and we'll say this is an attack roll.
All right. Which is still a D10, so it's fine. Oh, that's an 8. That's no good.
No good
In fairness,
at all.
there is a force field in the way.
As you take your whip and reel it back and whoosh, you hear it whistling through the air, and the crack that you hear at the end of it is not the whip. It is Rocky's electricity connecting with it and like forcing it into a different direction.
Amazing. Can I still hold on to my whip, or have I lost
Yes,
it?
yeah, you still
Okay,
have the
cool,
grip.
cool.
The shock didn't reach your hand.
Okay, perfect.
Simeon. Oh,
Is there any way for me to get past, like, is the force field taking up the full space between, like, or is there any way I can narrow past it in the small creature that I am?
your force field only creates a space around you, correct, Rocky?
Yeah.
All right, then you have plenty of space to get.
Okay. I'll look at Rocky and look at Mina and say, I never was any good at fighting. Please take care of this. And I'm gonna try run past Father to Vanderschmidt, and I want to use my heal special power.
What does this look like as you reach down towards Vanderschmidt?
I'll make some. Obviously, I'll have to make some sort of snide remark. You know, something along the lines of, like, you know, I will show you what you can achieve if you follow faith instead of science. And I'll put my hands on his injury, and that familiar sort of bright gold glow will just fill the room with light.
There's a dull and slow pulse of light flash. And at your current rank, heal regains hit point,
Yeah.
not heal wounds.
No. I
You
can heal
can
wounds
see that
in
it
10
is
minutes, but we don't have 10 minutes to spare.
no. You see the bleeding has stopped, and stump itself has sort of sealed over with skin. Thank you. I'm sorry. That it's Rocky's turn.
Electricity runs out, and so Rocky pulls out a pebble, sticks it in his mouth, and starts cranking his pistol and aiming at the leg of Dr. Mechanical Leg, right? His limbs are all replaced. So not wanting to hit his actual body, Rocky will like wince and then open his eyes and fire and aim and fire at like a knee joint.
Right. Go ahead.
4.
That is a hit.
Yes.
As your pebble supercharged with electricity, there's a small spark. It moves so fast it like creates a vacuum behind it. So just a flash of blue that collides with one of this thing's legs. You can see several gears and a spring just pop off of the knee. You can see it sort of like lock in place, and it could bend it. 1 point of damage.
And then Rocky will move even closer to be like right in its way, and just like try to look into the half of the face that's not copper and just yell, "Dr. Wrinkle!" Yeah, that'll be it.
Right. There's no recognition. Beside that dead eye, blind almost, as another arm deploys a blade, scalpel, shoots straight upwards towards you. Go ahead and make it.
Ooh, 6.
Not enough. Lose 1 health
We'll
and
use
gain 1.
powered.
Oh,
We'll use powered deflection. Once per rest, you can negate all damage from a single attack that hits you. So just fast enough to spin my hat again, just for a quick half second, just enough to deflect the blade from actually hitting me.
and 1 arc of electricity like shoots down towards this thing's arm and envelops it in a white flash, and it just freezes there for a moment, and does not manage to make contact.
Don't make us do this, Dr. Wrinkle.
Mina, your turn. Still a zone away.
I'm gonna... And I can't do anything if I go into this zone. Okay, I will try again to pull him towards me.
Right?
Do I dare use the same die, or do I switch?
Use the
we're
same
gonna
one
switch.
because they got the bad rolls all out already.
Yeah, totally. That's how it works.
That's so not how it works. Especially with me, and you know it.
I do.
No.
At least tell me it's a 5.
Time again.
Dang it.
Damn. 2 5.
You take the whip and wield it backwards, and it wraps around one of the chairs, and you yank it forwards, and you feel the weight, and the chair just like goes sprawling out to the other side of the room, shatters against the wall, and the whip does nothing.
I gotta figure something else out.
Right. Dr. Hinderschmidt, now that he's healed, going to get up, going to try to grab but with a 9, he does not succeed. He like goes towards it with one hand, tries to grab the undead animatronic by its neck, and it just ducks out of the way with a twitch. Simeon.
Seeing Mina's struggles trying to use her whip in such a confined space, I'm gonna use the combo action to give you an extra dice and damage. And the way that's gonna happen in law, the way I'm helping, is I'll say, Mina, you use this. You'll do better than I will with it, and do the very safe thing of throwing my knife across the room at Mina. In a friendly, helpful way, not as an attack.
A friendly, helpful dagger throw at someone.
Yeah, I'm like throwing it handle first, not, you know,
An
knife throw.
underhanded toss, not a
Yeah,
spinning.
yeah. Yeah.
Just lobbing a knife across the room. No biggie.
It's fine. I've had plenty of knives thrown at me.
Well, we're going to find out how that gets resolved as the knife continues to fly in slow motion across the room. Rocky, your turn.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I'll this time back up a little bit, as very vulnerable now, and try to aim for that same knee joint,
Right.
with my pistol. Yeah.
6, that's a miss and an effort point. The stone, as another blue flash sparks out from your wrist, it embeds itself inside this, not even leaving any splinters, just carving a tiny hole inside the floorboard. All right, this thing's
Is there
turn. Go ahead.
one, just probably a no, but is there anything that connects it to the machine, like a wire
No,
or? Okay.
it's fully freestanding. Now it's this thing's turn. It is going to turn again towards you, Simeon. It seems to have no knowledge or will behind its one red eye. Just violence, wanton, random. Simeon to make.
Okay. 5. That's the 5s again.
That is a get 1 effort point and it's 1 health as the scalpel arm slashes out towards you. Just a single robotic and
I mean,
cuts
consider
open.
I spent all 3 of my effort. It's helpful to get 1 back.
Yes, we get 1 back. Right side. Mina, you have been comboed with.
Yes. So, I would like to hopefully catch the knife.
Since it's a combo,
And the way it looks in my head would be like I catch it, like turn towards Simeon, catch the knife as it's like hurtling through the air, all really badass, like turn towards the creature, just like slightly pivoting because it had just attacked Simeon, and then just launch it at its eye.
I think this knife would be considered a small weapon, and you do need training to be able to throw it with the intent to harm.
Dang it. Well, I don't have training. I have training in martial arts. Ooh, can I attach it to my whip?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, you
I'd like
catch
to-
it with you.
Yes. And then I'd like to whip it at the creature, hopefully in the eye.
With after one trip all the way around the room, banging against the walls and leaving gashes, it comes down onto the thing that is fighting you. You get 1 extra die, and if you hit 1.
Ooh, I got a 2.
That is a success.
I got
2
a 4
damage.
and a 2. But 2 is much better.
Yes. As your knife comes flying, the whip lets go of it, just as planned, and the knife goes flying straight, unmoving, and point first right down into the mechanical red eye of this thing, and it just there's sparks as the knife embeds itself in his the face that is not his own. Next up is Vanderschmidt, who is again going to try and grapple this thing and push it back into the machine, a place to drain it, and does not succeed. Even with his bulk, this thing is nimble, able to get out of the way. Simeon.
I'm not sure now. To be real honest.
Yeah, you don't have a weapon anymore.
No.
You could pull it from its face.
You can still attack, but attacking without a weapon
Yeah.
must use a D.
Yeah.
Unless you have martial arts. Which is why I'm trying to get close to this thing, but I can't.
Could move out of the zone, give Mina space to fight.
I could. Yeah, I don't think there's much else I can actually do.
Pull the
so I
doctor
think,
away.
Yeah, I think the best thing I could actually do would be to just move out of the way. If Vanderschmidt's actually like active with fighting now, isn't it?
That can be your action. Figure out whether Vanderschmidt's heart is.
Okay. Because what I was originally planning to do after healing him was to, if he didn't seem like he was gonna fight it, was to get him to safety. But he then did, lunge at it. So, yeah, maybe try and figure out, should I get this guy to safety or do we need that help? Figure that out.
All right. Go ahead and make a check to determine Vanderschmidt's motive in.
An 8.
He seems distraught or insane right now in this, with a couple seconds and in the heat of adrenaline pumping fight, almost impossible. You just get out of the way. And with Simeon back next to his sister,
An effort.
you, Rocky.
Does it look like we are winning? Or does this thing just seem like it can terminate us?
No, it does not seem like it can terminate her. It's taking visible damage. It is moving slower and even more jerkily than before. Now that he and I are broken.
We am going to try to shoot the knife and drive it in further.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dr. Wrinkle! And I will rank and fire. Ooh, big 8, though. Nope. Close my eyes, shoot the ceiling.
As you just shout an apology and you do sort of this sort of thing. And you look away as you pull the trigger, and you just hear it thunk into the wall. All right, and it is going to retaliate against you. Void check.
Boo-boo. 3!
That is a success.
Yay.
While you missed the shot entirely, you managed to dodge out of the way of another blade as it flashes towards you. Ina, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to move into the zone. Up
Mm-hmm.
probably next to Rocky. I would like to say, You are not my father. And then just try and kick it in the chest as hard as I can back towards the machine because I have martial arts.
Go ahead and use them, Martha.
I will try.
Quick question.
And I definitely fail. So that's another fucking 10.
No, you definitely 100% get an effort back.
I don't think I've spent any effort.
Oh no.
You maybe need to start doing the helps. Give yourself the opportunity to get 2 10s.
Yeah, we are. I'm full as well too. So yeah, this is
Fine, I will use them all next time.
Remember, you can use all 3 effort points to spend on yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I
Give yourself
really
the
should have
opportunity
done
to roll
that.
2.
It's fine. I'll do that next time.
All right.
If I don't die first.
Vanderschmidt realizes he's being useless, and he's gonna go follow the one person who seems to have a modicum of fitness. Just gonna move next to Simeon. That's his turn. And Simeon, you're up next.
Quick question. With the zone capacity and it been full up and me getting out, did you take my small into account with that?
Yes.
Okay.
That is why everyone was still able to attack when everybody was in.
The joys have been small.
Because your father also has the small. Total is 10. Exactly where it needs to be.
So me and Vanderschmidt were together, but we're on the opposite side of the... Like, we're on the wrong side from the door, aren't we? The door's on the opposite side.
No,
of the
you
building.
are actually next to the door. You two are the closest to it. The fighting is happening near the...
Ah, okay. I'll try lead Vanderschmidt out of the door then.
You open the door and the buzzing continues. The fight outside still rages. And I will have you make a check. Your action, Vanderschmidt.
Okay. A 4.
That is a success. Vanderschmidt looks at you, looks outside, looks at the battle raging inside his office, glances back at you, nods once, eyes still wide.
And I'll just say to him, you know, just find somewhere to hide. Maybe under the house or behind it. I'll come find you when this is over.
And exits down the stairs. Rocky, you're up.
Okay. I think that Rocky will try to be more helpful, so I will use my 3 effort points to help Mina, as they are in like hand-to-hand melee, and just be like, it has to be controlled by something. If it really does need your father's body, try to attack the brain, and like try to like get her to do what I failed to do with the knife, just jam it in further into her dad's head.
Yikes.
Rocky has no chill.
That's a combo
Like,
with
weird
Mina
at
again.
this point.
And in the meantime, the thing is going to lash out at target.
Of course you do. Hi.
Oh my.
There it is. We all knew it was coming. We were waiting for it. That is a failure. Gain 1 point.
I haven't spent any effort.
Can you give me your effort?
In the new version, actually, you could. Little sneak peek. That, though, it is your turn, Mina. Nurse open wound on your arm.
Alright. I will try and, like... I think I'll kind of, like, take the handle of my whip, because it's sturdier than my hand, but take my whole fist and try and jam the, like, punch it, essentially. The
Alright.
dagger, like, further into it.
That's so metal. Jamming a dagger into your animatronic father's head. Chill. Go ahead and make that attack roll.
And do I get 2 because of it's a combo, right?
Yeah, you get 2
Hopefully.
dice, and if you hit, 1 extra damage.
Well, I rolled a 2 on one of them, so
Yes.
woo!
Amazing. You manage to take that, your whip, and as it collides with the butt of the dagger sticking out of its red eye, it presses it all the way into its head, and the dagger's gone. There's no getting it out at this point, and it's just got a hole side of its face. You can see the inner workings sparking as the gears try to turn and aren't able to. Just keep twitching like the rest of his body. Looking real bad. That brings us back to Simeon standing by the open door that Vanderschmidt is.
For starters, I will shut the door. I don't want to affect Mina too badly. Not sure what I can do.
There's the machine. There's the tea set. There's the large photo.
You go sit down.
Just
Have a
telling
cup
you
of
what's in
tea.
the tea set that no one's drunk out of yet.
There's the window too, though it's probably much
Just
harder
go,
to open
you
now.
know, sit down, cross my legs, just have a nice cup of tea in the middle of all this.
You can always blindly attempt to attack because D12s can still roll a 1, get a crit.
It's more just out of character, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I guess like I'm not as adept at machinery as Rocky, but I guess I'll go. I've hung out with Rocky quite a bit. Maybe I've picked something up. So I'll go have a look at the machine and see if I can spot anything, because I've seen all the diagrams of how it works and stuff and looked at them with Rocky. So like maybe Rocky, I remember something that Rocky pointed out to me or something. So I'll have a look at the machine and see if I can figure anything.
Go ahead. It's going to be a pretty high difficulty, but
Yeah,
if you
because
fail,
it's
you
not
get
my
an effort.
forte. Exactly, and that'll take me up to 3, so that I can actually combo again. It's a win-win. It's a win-win either way.
There you go. Win-win.
I'll have the effort point, please.
All right, you get that effort point with whatever that ridiculously high
9.
number is.
Yeah. I don't think I'm figuring out the machine with a 9. Just a
No,
feeling
but
I've
you
got.
feel ready to help again. Rocky, you're up.
Yeah, like go look at the machine and just be like, "What am I doing? I don't understand." Like, figure out my next plan.
Cranking out another pebble, aiming for the other side of the dagger in the head, trying to I don't know if it's got like visual. You said it had like a red glowing eye. Is that the one that
Not
got the dagger in
anymore.
it? Okay, so the other side then, help it kind of make a mess of things.
Right.
Ooh.
Ooh, and a mess you make indeed. What are you attacking with?
My pistol. Cranking out, spitting a pebble.
So another crank, another pebble inside the rail. It just shoots it out. Another blue streak goes by, and you feel that you all feel the same. Now, being around Rocky, you're used to this thing getting fired now, and every time it does, you just feel your fur stand on end as electricity surges throughout the room, and the pebble just manages to collide again with the metallic side of his face and blows a hole out the back of its head. Now you can just see clear through. Starts twitching violently like it's on its last legs. Next up is its turn. It's going to take out 2 knives, shing, shing, and make an X with like a pincer move straight towards Rocky, your abdomen. Go ahead and make.
The X. Rough.
6 is not enough as both of these plunge into your rib cage. As he takes him out, there's a spray of blood onto. That is his turn. Nina, you're up.
How much is that? Just one or?
Is the door to the machine still open?
Yes.
Okay. How far away is it? It's in the same zone as us, right? I would like to try and kick him, like square in the chest, or it, square in the chest again, and try and kick it into the door. And I'm going to spend all 3 effort points to help myself do this.
Yeah.
And before I do it, I'm going to... Simeon, are you still by the machine?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to yell at Simeon, close the door once it's inside, and we'll see what happens.
Right. Go ahead and make your attack roll. A lot riding on this.
It's not good.
Even with 2 dice?
What's a 7?
Ooh.
As you miss, you do manage to.
Does that mean I get an effort back, though?
Yes, it is
Did
a
I
failed
just
check.
spend-
You get that effort back. As your foot lands square in its chest, you push it backwards, but it reaches out and catches itself on the opening and throws itself back out of the machine that it was created in. Simeon, you're up next.
So it's out of character for Simeon to fight and attack. But I can see what Mina's going for in just trying to move it into the thing. That's not hard.
Try the same thing?
Just moving it. Yeah, I'd like to try sort of, just run it in and, shoulder tackle
Just
it
like
in.
head first.
Yeah. Just throw
This
my body
little
weight into it
mouse.
and hope it moves.
Right. He's about your size, so you know it's doable. Go ahead and make a check.
I can offer an effort point to help, so you have another die, too.
I rolled a 9 again.
Are you taking
mind.
an effort point, though?
Yeah, I can offer an effort point, so you get another die.
It is free in combat.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This version. See?
Yes.
See, Sean, I can't keep them all straight.
Yeah, you can't do the one help effort in
In
like one effort
This
help in
version,
combat.
help
You can
is
only do
outside of combat.
Yeah.
I thought that... Aw, okay. Oh, right, because you can only do the combo stuff.
Yeah.
I remember.
All right, so Simeon, you get your effort point.
I do. I'm already at 3 though. I'm in the obvious situation.
Rocky, it's you again.
Please help us. We're useless.
I've got 1 effort point as well. I think just gonna like reflexively he grabs at his stomach, so like takes that second, just like to grit his teeth, and then finds another pebble. But now his hand is like bloody, and he like smears a little bit on his mouth as he puts the pebble in there, and he starts to crank. And as he spits the pebble in, like the blood on the pebble like fries, and it'll make the room smell pretty nasty. As he'll go for the head one more time.
All right.
4.
What do you want to do?
Just whatever part of the head that's just like somewhat still together, just aims for that to just blow it all to bits. Like right over poor Mina's head, like so they probably get an amazing view of it. Just with the blood and smell of the ozone in the air crackling, just bits of flesh and gears splattering everywhere.
Not traumatizing at all.
Yeah.
Mina and Simeon see the mangled body, long deceased father, fall to the floor. The animatronics sticking out at strange angles. The mechanical half of his head just completely gone now. Little bits of metal and sticking out of it. You can still see half. Is that right?
This is where Simeon's beliefs come in handy, though. So I believe so strongly in, the importance of the soul, not the body. So, I'm just like, his soul left. His soul's out there somewhere. That's fine. The body is, it don't matter that it's destroyed or anything. It's the soul that matters. And it's already gone.
I'm gonna go over to the body and grab one of the limbs, not really looking at it, and just drag it into the machine. And then I will turn to Rocky and Simeon and just, somebody go get Vanderschmidt so we can lock this thing up and turn this machine off. Or I can just start destroying the machine.
I'll go.
Rocky kind of like half slumped. I like the second option.
Mina, as you start closing the doors, Simeon, you dart down the stairs. The battle between the bees and the wasps in this attic crawl space, has begun to subside, and you can see the bodies of dozen insects just littering the rafters below. And that's only the one you can see that fall into the darkness. There's some skirmishes still fighting, but the overwhelming victory scurry down staircase. Find Vanderschmidt taking cover underneath the base of just cowering, sort of like head down, still clutching his stump of a wrist.
We need you, Vanderschmidt. If you want to make things right, for all you've done, we need you.
Gets to his feet, not taking his full and considerable height. He's so hunched over at this point, slightly taller than you. Follows you, scamper back up the staircase, back into the room. At this point, Mina fully closed the door, locked it with the abomination inside.
I'd like to find a hammer or something.
You go over to the table, has just tools strewn across it, and you find a hefty wrench.
All right, I will pick it up, go over to the machine, and just start hitting it.
Clang! The more times you hit it, the more cracks open in the pipes and steam starts hissing out of it. And here you can see Vanderschmidt, his eyes wide in fear for a moment. Accents. Slumps in chairs. Still pristine and tea set. At this
I will
point, it
continue
starts.
beating this thing until it's in pieces, and even then, I will probably continue beating the pieces. Nina is like, again, for the first time, unnerved, and she is taking it out by beating this machinery to a pulp. There also seems to be, Simeon would notice, like some trauma there with like their father always paying attention to the inventions and her having run away and stuff, and just, yeah. She's just going to town on this thing even when there's nothing really to beat left.
And sort of knowing this and picking up on it, I think Simeon would like give space, to just let Mina go at it. But once it ends up just like a pile of rubble on the floor, then Simeon would step in and just be like, Mina, it's okay.
I think I'd ignore you at first, just kind of in my own head, beating it. But if you touch me, I'd probably turn towards you, like with the wrench held up, and then freeze and let it drop, realizing that it's you.
Echoing clang
it's
sounds
all over.
throughout the. It lands amongst the pile of broken pipe levers.
Mina, it's all over now. It's all over.
Over.
I'm here for you.
And I will kind of lean into you in a, not quite a hug, but just a needing the support kind of thing.
And I'll look at Rocky and just say, we've handled issues with our father. I think the floor is yours.
Rocky just like holding his gut, just can't like think of anything to say. He just looks at Smith and it's just like disgusted. I think it'll take a little more time than we've got right now.
Green slowly fades to black. Enter a short episode. The bees came in and helped you tame Vanderschmidt. Forced to. 'Forced 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 received life in. Or any part of that story?
Does he admit guilt, or does he like fight?
Throughout the entire trial, he seems conflicted, but doesn't.
I think then probably several months later, Rocky might actually go visit him.
Prison is, as you'd expect, just the basement. Musty down here. Tiny. Sits there like a hole in the pipe on.
Doesn't understand. How you could do that to a friend.
I was more than a boss. Well,
Fiddling with.
I think Rocky might leave, but he would probably come back like more and more often, depending on like the conversations and stuff. But at first, it would be pretty hard, having not really dealt with parents most of his life. So like slowly over time, they might have more conversations that last longer.
You find that
Sort of.
your favorite conversations with him are the ones about work, whatever you happen to be
Yeah.
working on. You recognize that he has a warped mind, but also brilliant. His ideas for what can be done with electricity are new. So that his applications of ideas is enough. But in your hand, he never really gets better throughout his life.
I like
That's
to
it.
think. I like to think that at least a few times while he was in prison, Simeon would probably visit as well to try sort of, teach Van Schmidt about, the Swiss cheese Lord above. If he was receptive to it.
He's really not.
I'd try.
He slowly becomes more receptive. He never fully... You're pretty sure he never fully believes before. And, your relationship with these thoroughly improves, even though you asked them for again for. And all of you, where are you going from here?
I think Rocky would try and see if Simeon and Mina want to redo the funeral, at least like in a small way, with an actual
That'd be nice.
coffin that is holding Dr. Wrinkle.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice. I think that's a good idea.
And he will apologize for having to blow up your father's head.
Are you inviting anyone?
I think we'd keep it small and close knit. You know, just invite a few of the people who were sort of involved in the situation. Like, you know, Grasshopper, Grasshopper, for example.
Yeah.
Pretty much just Grasshopper Lawyer is Cricket. It's quiet. Not a lot of word. Gesture.
I think at the funeral, everyone would kind of see Mina cry. And Simeon, this would be one of the few times that Mina cries. Like she didn't even do it much growing up. Just kind of over everything that happened and the death of her father. But it wouldn't be for very long, and very quickly she would be pulling herself back together and returning mostly to her normal self. However, moving forward, she would keep in contact with you and also keep in contact with Rocky.
I think after the funeral, before we sort of went our separate ways, Simeon would make, you know, a sort of half-hearted joke offer that there's always a place, you know, at the temple if you ever wanted to come. You know, like knowing full well that's an offer you would never ever accept.
Yeah. She'll just kind of laugh and pat you on the shoulder.
Dr. Alphonse Wrinkle's legacy remains. He is the one that brought indoor plumbing, something that one has been unable to live without since its inception. But there is the matter. Grasshopper G. Grasshopper, that in the event of Vanderschmidt's permanent imprisonment, everything had gone to his children. This includes his living quarters, his higher health, and his office. What are your plans for that?
In my order, you know, we disavow all sort of worldly possessions, so if they're all passing on to Rocky, suits me perfectly.
Yeah, I kind of have a similar view, not because I don't believe in worldly possessions, but more because, yeah, I don't like it here anyway. I'll come visit. You can do more good with it. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends where I live with them and continue to try and fight the man.
Rocky would, particularly the workshop, use that to hopefully bring, you know, central air to the little folk, or like modern conveniences, kind of building off Dr. Wrinkle's legacy of plumbing.
You sort of step into it. Gone. Have his
My
money,
big toes.
work, have his living quarters.
For the money, Rocky would try to give that to Mina and Simeon. He really just wants the workshop. Or at least say, it'll always be there if you need some, and then like maybe try to convince Simeon to make like a donation for some thing like orphanage, build an orphanage.
The Abbey always takes, charitable donations.
Yeah, at least some amount to like think that would be nice for Rocky to help build a place for kids on the street to go.
And Mina would also be in full support of that sort of thing. While the Abbey and the monks and such are in positions of authority, and she might struggle listening to them, they aren't trying to step on people. And her brother's with them, so she trusts them and would be entirely on board 100%, and even willing to help build and potentially work at the orphanage that ends up being built. Well, she also, in her spare time, goes and does gang stuff.
E-related violence.
With that, now that the inheritance that started Firestone distributed final place Dane.
Ooh, we should have done a double funeral too for Gav and Dr. Wrinkle. We did a funeral for Gav, but maybe we could actually find out the more proper ways to do things. Contact some of his people.
Retcon, that's what we do.
Yes.
Once we have more time, we're not in such a rush.
You find Gav's home. He was missed. Never got the details why he left his colony. Try to gave him back to family. Allowed you to. Now, inheritance distributed. Story, its will, thing that comes to a so and thank you everybody for listening. Thank you three especially for playing. I loved this. It is not often that I do run stories that are this dark and heartfelt, especially when actions are concerned, but this was amazing. I had such a good.
Do you know how hard I had to rein in my brain to stop it making bee puns? You wouldn't believe how hard it was.
Easy.
No, here they come. The floodgates have opened.
No.
Also, when you were discussing Wrinkle and all he did for the people, bring technology to them and stuff. All I could think of is there was a song that was supposed to be in Hamilton, but didn't actually end up into it. That's from Benjamin Franklin's song, and the first line of the song is "Electricity, you can all thank me." It's just him bragging about inventing electricity.
Yeah.
Just replace it with indoor plumbing.
Well, again, thank you to all of you. This has been a great, emotional time. Thank you to all my viewers here. you want, you can go watch these. They are going to be on VODs on YouTube pretty much forever. So they'll stick around. We are actually sponsored by How Not to DM Podcast, which is actually a fantastic show. They interview big names across all the TTRPG space about how to run games and how not to run. Season 4 has just begun. I believe episode 1 is out wherever you find your podcasts. With that being said, again, I know I keep saying it, but I truly mean it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as much as. Remember, everything is good. Good night, everybody.